Hey, John, can you cover the Bart and Jenn Corbin case for me? Ann Rule covered this case in her best-selling book, Too Late to Say Goodbye, and it was even made into a movie with Rob Lowe. This death-dealing dentist murdered his beautiful wife about 20 minutes from where I lived in Georgia. And I know because my uncle was the death scene investigator. Angry Bart, as he's been called by many, left his deceased wife in the bedroom just so his two small children, 1 5 and 1 7, would be the first to find her decomposing body. Sicko, sicko, sicko. Your biggest fan, Amy.
Welcome to Talk Murder to Me.
Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome.
We do have a hint tonight.
Ooh.
And a themed cocktail for the first time in a while.
Yes.
So I'm pretty excited.
Yes.
So we are drinking the Bloody Tooth.
Ooh.
That's good.
The Bloody... Is it? All right, let's...
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, I do like that. The cranberry mixes well with the whiskey. It's almost like just tastes like cranberry juice.
It's okay.
Is that all that's in it? Is just cranberry juice and whiskey?
And a little bit of lemon juice.
I like it.
It originally called for pomegranate juice, but I was like, oh, man, going to the store, no.
Yeah, F that.
And I guess the pomegranate seeds were supposed to be the bloody teeth.
Oh, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat and drink something at the same time. The only thing that's acceptable is like the cherry limeade that we had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, with the cherries.
That's high up on my list.
Same here.
All right, so the hint tonight was dentist or dental related. I couldn't really get a really good hint because, I don't know, I wasn't feeling too creative. So, Nicole, where are we going and who are we killing tonight?
I think we are going to a dental school in I was gonna say like a very specific university. I don't know why. I'm gonna say we're going to New York, and I think we're going to like a student who's in dental school who takes his obsession with a fellow student too far.
Interesting. I was also going to say New York.
Really?
But yeah, I think only because the first thing that popped into my mind was the dentist from Little Shop of Horrors, and I just associated New York with Broadway. But I hate teeth. Like, I like my teeth. And I always get nervous about something happening to my teeth or my eyes, and I always have dreams that my teeth fall out, and I can literally feel them falling out. So I don't know how I feel about this story.
Have you ever had the feeling where like it feels like your tooth is a little like wiggly, and you're like, why is it wiggly?
Well, I still have a baby tooth.
What? You do? Mm-hmm. Really?
I do.
Do you not have an adult tooth behind it? Mm-mm. And so you won't lose the baby tooth?
Well, they say I could lose my baby tooth.
You still have a baby tooth.
I don't have a tooth up there.
That's crazy because there's nothing else pushing it down.
Let's pull it out.
No.
That's why, I bet you that's why it's a fear. Don't you think? Because you're like afraid you're going to lose that tooth.
Maybe. I don't know. But like, I think that probably is.
Maybe psychologically, yeah.
Yeah.
I say we pull that bitch out.
Oh my God.
Like when I'm asleep.
One day we're going to be like so drunk.
It'll be like the Hangover.
Yes, exactly.
Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise. I'm very excited for this. I picked the surprise shot tonight.
Cheers.
Oh, my Lord.
You didn't like that?
It wasn't bad.
Not bad, but...
There was just a lot of it.
Yeah, dude, that was like 2 shots in one. Is that Jack?
It's not.
No, it doesn't taste like Jack. It's some type of whiskey.
Take a look at your shot glasses.
Firefly?
It's Firefly sweet tea whiskey.
I knew it was whiskey. It doesn't. It tastes more like unsweet tea.
I could not figure out. I was like, what is that flavor?
It's good. It's
just, it is good.
I wish they'd put a little more sugar in it. All right, tonight, guys, I got a story that I'm really looking forward to do. I had a request come in, and basically it said, please read this Ann Rule book. And if you don't know, Ann Rule is a true crime author. She is the most well-known. She has the most true crime books, and she's the best out there. She is a fantastic writer, and I love reading her books, all of them.
R.I.P. Ann Rule.
Yes, R.I.P. And a little bit about her, I don't know too much, but she was a beat reporter that turned crime reporter and then crime author. She did write the definitive Ted Bundy book out there because they were actually good friends. They worked together in the suicide hotline. Yeah, Bundy worked in a suicide hotline. It's kind of crazy. So anytime you pick up an Ann Rule book, you're not going to be disappointed. The book tonight we are reading is this one right here. It is called Too Late to Say Goodbye, a true story of murder and betrayal. And all of the reading points that Nicole and Jen will be reading tonight are coming directly from this book because it's so well detailed. There are a couple newspapers that we are going to be exploring, but mostly this book. So this book by Ann Rule was also produced into a movie, and Rob Lowe was the main character.
Oh, okay.
I actually never seen this movie. I'm pretty sure it's called the same thing. I think it came out in 2006 or something. I think we should watch it later.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
you guys want.
I like Rob Lowe.
Yeah, I do want to ask one question here, and this is going to start off the episode. The victim of tonight's story asked this same question. I want to know what you guys think and what your responses will be. And the question is, what if you find your one true love and you're already bound to someone else?
Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with.
And if you can't...
I was trying to think about how and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Are they really your true love?
Okay, let me put a disclaimer out there. I wanted Jen to answer this. You're not going to answer this.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I feel like I'm on the other side of that. I feel like I felt sparks with someone who's already
Who's been
with someone
yeah.
else.
Bound to someone else, and I'm going to spoil it for you. The person that asked this is in a marriage with somebody else, but she falls in love with someone else. And she asked this question, in fact, to her sister. So.
Oh, I mean, it's hard. I think because, like, the grass is not always greener on the other side, I suppose. And I don't know. I mean.
Well, there might not be grass at all.
You're right. I got it now.
I'm back to my old tricks.
I don't know. It's hard because like it depends on how long you've been with the person, right? Like it's like, well, is it worth giving up what you have and going on to something new with someone else? Like how strongly do you feel about the other person?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're saying it's your one true love, then
Yeah, but if you're married to someone for 10 years and then
how's the state of your marriage? Are you happily married?
Anyone that is happily married would never ask this question.
Well, exactly.
I think love is a choice at the end of the day, and I think you can wake up every day and choose to love the person that you're with. Like, and that might be oversimplifying it, but I think like unless there are very extreme circumstances that surround that.
I don't know that I agree with that, but I respect your opinion. I don't know that you can say that love is a choice because there are different kinds of love.
Yeah.
There's I don't know all the words, but like I know there's agape, which is like friendship love. There's eros, which is romantic, exotic love, and there's a couple other ones too. A true love doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic love. It can be a friend love. I don't know. It's like you can, I don't know. Like if you're that's hard to say. That's hard to say because I'm not in that situation. But I would feel like I wouldn't be bound to someone else unless I felt that they were my true love.
Right.
Tonight we're starting the story Saturday, December 4th, 2004. This is 7:30 a.m. in the morning, and this is where we're going to right now. Buford, like boofing,
Buford?
Georgia.
Are you sure it's not Buford?
Buford.
That's a nice looking house.
I know, right? What kind of person do you think lives in that house, Jen?
I would say like a small, that's not the same house. Those are two different houses.
No, it's the same house. One, One of them's the back. Is the back side.
Oh, wow. I would say like maybe a young family.
I mean, what does the guy do for a living?
Landscaper.
Businessman or dentist.
Dentist. Yeah, shit, we should have thought of that
Oh
first.
my God.
Oh, yeah. There was a hint there. Well, I feel stupid.
Oh my God. 200 episodes later, John's still trying to trick us.
It is a nice house, though.
Yeah.
It's almost shaped like this house.
Yeah.
But with
Much bigger.
This is like the Bel Air. This is like the Bel Air Will Smith house, dude, right here.
Yeah, they're very pretty
I
houses.
like 2-story houses. Like, I think they're very nice and elegant. I have a nice 1-story house, but like,
Yeah.
it's perfect for me right now. But eventually, I want a nice big house.
All right, this is 4515 Bogan Gates Drive. Can you explain this house for our audience?
It is a sprawling brick manor.
It looks like it's on the edge of a golf course. Actually, it looks like it's sitting on a sand trap, even though we know that's not a sand trap.
How much do you think that house is worth?
It's in Georgia, so maybe like $350.
Oh, yeah, you're pretty close. It was like right at 325, I think, the last time I checked.
Wow.
Which was today. I don't know last time I checked. Today, it was like 325.
In Massachusetts, that probably would be upwards of $700,000.
Yep.
All right, Saturday, December 4th, 2004, in that house that you just saw. It's 7:30 a.m. and a 7-year-old runs out of that house. He runs across the street because the neighbors are there, and he just starts knocking at the door. Help, help, help. And this is what he says.
My mom isn't breathing. My daddy shot my mommy. I need you to call 911.
Basically, here's what happens. He wakes up around 7 o'clock, and usually the routine is he gets breakfast. The 5-year-old that is his brother was not complaining, but, I'm hungry. I just woke up, stuff like that. Where's breakfast? Where's mommy? Like, I don't smell anything. So Dalton, the 7-year-old, goes into the kitchen. There's no breakfast being made. He just thinks that his mom's still sleeping. Mm-hmm. Then he goes into the mom's bedroom and discovers the mother. His mother, and now keep this in mind, the 7-year-old son, is the one that finds his mom. She's dead, obviously, and as Dalton said, my dad shot my mom. Now, the dad isn't home at all. His car's not there. It's just the 2 boys and now their deceased mother.
So they don't maybe necessarily know that the dad shot the mom.
Exactly. Now, this is an interview of the detective asking Dalton. It's very important that Dalton actually did not see his dad kill his mom. Mm-hmm. Okay, so keep that in mind.
Do you have any idea why you think you're here today?
Because my mom got killed this morning.
You think that your mom and dad were going to divorce and separate?
That's got to be really hard.
I feel like when I was 7 years old, I didn't know what that meant.
What do you mean?
Divorce and separate? Like,
I don't, 7 seems young for that. I don't know.
Wait, he's 7, though. You don't think he's old enough? And also, he's the bigger brother. So maybe he's...
Well, I'm just saying, when I was 7, I wouldn't necessarily understood if that happened.
Or at least perceive that there were marital issues.
Oh, you're saying if you were 7, you wouldn't say that your dad shot your mom?
No, if I was 7, I wouldn't know that they were having marital problems and were planning on getting a divorce.
Okay. In most families, and keep that in mind, because obviously he does know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it must have been pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my family is not most families, and so I can't really say.
Yeah.
I can't really say for sure.
Good or bad.
Yeah, good or bad. I mean, maybe when I was like 8 or 9, maybe, but 7 is I think that's the beginning of 2nd grade. Well, I guess 7, you understand what's right and wrong. You start to understand conscience and stuff. That's what they say. You get your conscience.
Interesting.
Not when you get your conscience, but when
Jiminy
you start
Cricket,
to understand.
So he knocks on the door. My dad shot my mom, and then obviously he didn't actually see it happen, but there was a gun by his mom. Now in the interview, and there's little snippets of it online, Dalton, the 7-year-old, kind of describes what his mother looked like. The gun was right there, and he kind of points to his nose and says, she has blood, dried up on her nose right here. I want you guys to remember, a 7-year-old just saw the murder of his mother.
Or at least her dead body.
Her dead body, because that's important. If the husband killed her, then that's what type of husband he is. Mm-hmm. Because he would have left the mother's dead body there, knowing good and damn well that his 7-year-old or 5-year-old was going to find it first. Just keep that in mind. This is Kelly Como right here. This is the neighbor, and she's talking to the DA and the investigators. What we're reading now is from Ann Rule's book.
She was way gone.
Kelly would later recall to DA's investigator Kevin Vincent.
Her body was frozen, ice cold. She was way, way gone. I didn't check for a pulse. I knew she was gone a long time before.
The butt of the handgun rested 3 or 4 inches from the palm of her right hand, although her fingertips were less than an inch away from it. Oddly, the barrel of the revolver was hidden beneath the rose-patterned comforter. There was a pale blue and white flannel coverlet with a snowman pattern at the foot of the bed, and a cordless phone next to it.
When this came out, the whole neighborhood, and even at the papers, if you read the first day this happened, it was announced that it was a suicide. But what do you read here that tells you off the bat that it may not be a suicide?
The revolver was underneath the comforter.
Yeah, exactly. So if you shoot yourself in the head and the gun is in your hand and the comforter is over you, the revolver is not going to be positioned under the comforter.
The only way that would happen is if she was using the comforter as a silencer, but then there would be a bullet hole in the comforter.
Yeah, exactly.
Good thought,
And that's
though.
a good point.
Yeah.
Because this story is suicide or murder. I mean, it's obvious it's murder, but
Just from this detail.
just from these details, yeah. So before we go any further describing her death and what the crime scene looked like, I want you guys to get a good picture of Jenn Corbin. She was 33 years old at the time. Now, if this is your first episode on Talk Murder Me, I put all my sources and photos on talkmurder.com. Just go there and you'll find this post. It should be the latest episode for you guys, and you can follow along with us if you're not driving or anything. So here is Jenn Corbin right here. It's actually Jennifer, it's her real name, but she goes by Jenn, which is Jenn, which is not like you go by, right?
Correct.
Only one.
Only one N. Well, there's no use for the second N.
Yeah.
Describe her for us, Nicole.
She is blonde, short hair, big smile. She looks like she's having a great time. Looks like she's loving life.
What do you think she does for a living?
Somebody's a dentist somewhere.
Dental hygienist. He's a dentist. She's a dental hygienist.
That's
Ooh.
a good guess, but
She's a nurse.
no, she's not in the medical field.
She
A teacher.
Ah, there you go. She's a preschool teacher. She teaches preschool at the Sugar Hill Methodist Church. So they are Christian type people. She has 2 sons, as I talked about earlier, Dalton, 7 years old, and Dylan, 5 years old. 33 years old. She is tall and pretty. She is near 6 feet, and then
Wow,
she'll
she's
put
tall.
on heels and be 6 feet. She comes from a loving family. Her mother, Narda, in a RDA, is an artist, and her dad, Max. She has a few sisters, Heather and Rogel, and Jenn is actually the oldest. This family comes from middle class. You can see she is a very pretty, sophisticated woman. She actually went to the Savannah College of Art and Design.
good.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. How'd you know that?
it's a great school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really good school.
I had a couple people I went to high school with in Massachusetts that ended up
Oh,
going
wow.
there. Yeah.
Well, I didn't look too much into the school because I didn't think you guys would know it, but
I passed it.
Relatively new. I think it was created in 1982 or something like that.
Yeah. Whenever I head down to Georgia, I pass it.
Oh, yeah. Savannah, yeah.
Yeah, so her mom is an artist, and in fact, later in the story, before she gets murdered, she was helping her mom with her art studio, and so her mom would paint. So she's obviously got a talent for the arts. This is really interesting, and I kind of knew this before, but I really didn't think of it like this. If a woman was going to kill herself, what method would she most likely use?
Pills.
Have you ever thought why?
Because it's not violent. It's like, as far as suicide goes, men have a higher completion rate, but women have more attempts because they don't use lethal means as often as men do.
Well, why not, though? Like, why wouldn't she blow her own head off?
Well, I mean, she has 2 young kids. She probably didn't want them to find a body like that. I mean, it's easier to say mom died in her sleep than mom shot herself in the head.
Okay, this is from the book. I never thought about this, but it's pretty interesting. And I put the title here. Would you think about this, or would this be you in this scenario? I mean, not saying that that's a good thing, but just think about it if you want to read this.
We're not condoning you think about killing yourself, but...
The manner of her death was odd. Even if fatally depressed, few females kill themselves with a gunshot to the head. They want to look attractive when their bodies are discovered, whereas males don't seem to care. Women tend to take their own lives with sleeping pills or by cutting their wrists. Many even put on makeup and wear their prettiest outfit or nightgown. But Jennifer had worn an old sleeveless green satin shorty nightgown. Both its straps were torn in the back, and she had secured them with safety pins.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. I don't know.
That women will kind of dress up and...
That's weird.
I mean, it makes sense that they want to look pretty. I get that. But, I mean, no, this is Ann Rule. She has seen a lot of suicide deaths. So, for her to write that...
Yeah, I mean...
She's seen a lot of suicide deaths where the person committing suicide puts on a nightgown, puts on makeup to kill themselves. Isn't that crazy?
It is kind of insane when you think about it, but is it worse the fact that the women want to look presentable when their bodies are found, or is it worse that we live in a society that women feel pressured to make sure that they look nice?
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
They are found. See, for me, I feel like I would rather look a hot mess and have someone fix me up for my coffin.
Let the professionals do
but
it.
Isn't that crazy?
Maybe they
man?
can cut out like 30 pounds of fat too when they're at it, so that I
They just clip it all back,
yeah,
you know?
Holy shit. All right, let's talk about what you assholes want to hear about. It's the crime scene. I know what you guys want. All right, here you go. This is from the book. This is talking about the bullet wound. Now, when they did find her body, before you move anything, and we're going to talk about this later, you photograph where the gun position is before you move anything. And when paramedics usually get there first, they should always bring a camera to at least photograph before they even check pulse and move things around.
Well, luckily now we have camera phones.
Yeah, exactly. So she was actually found with the entrance wound from the revolver was behind her right ear, kind of in the back, going at an angle to the front of her forehead. So technically, yes, you can shoot yourself in the back of the head like that. Okay. But as you'll see, it doesn't really add up to suicide. So if you want to read this is what the coroner found.
The single fatal bullet wound was to the right side of her head behind her right ear. The wound path was from the right side of her head to the left and upward. The bullet had effectively cut her brainstem in half and fractured her skull in several places. Death would have been instantaneous.
Yeah. When I so I went through this course in the military where they were talking about if you shoot sounds so bad. If you shoot someone in the head, you want to aim for what they call the triangle of death, which is if you look at your nose and you make a triangle all the way down to your mouth. So it's like in the middle of your face, right below your nose and in your mouth. And the reason you want to shoot someone there, if you're going to shoot them in the head, is because if you try to shoot them in the forehead, it might get reflected on their skull, right? But if you shoot them kind of through the mouth in that triangle of death region, you'll have more of a chance to kill them instantly because you'll hit the brain stem, which connects everything in your body. I'm not really sure how the brain stem works, but I know it connects like to your spine and everything.
It's like a power cord.
Yeah,
to
it's a power
computer.
cord. So if you shoot the power cord, it's instant death. So they want you to shoot the brain stem, and that's through that little triangle of death.
Wow.
Kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So not to give anyone ideas out there. So she probably died around 4 or 5 hours before her body was discovered. And I want to reiterate, by her 7-year-old son.
And they did not hear the gunshot.
No, they didn't hear the gunshot. They actually woke up, where's breakfast?
Yep.
They didn't hear the gunshot at all. I do want to say, as I was reading this, the son runs over to the neighbor's house, and then the neighbor, her husband, Kelly's husband, gets on the phone, calls 911, and then the wife runs over there. So if this ever happens to you, don't do that. Don't run over there, because you don't know if the killer is still in the house. Okay? So especially if you run over there unarmed, you don't know if he's still there. Kelly actually thinks about that when she's already there. She's like, shit, I could have been dead too if he's in the house. Okay, so under her body, you'll see the picture right here. Go to talkmore.com. I'm putting all these evidence death photos on the blog. These are the divorce papers.
Under her body?
Under her body. Now, actually, she wasn't supposed to have those divorce papers yet. They haven't been served to her yet, but she had someone that, worked in the filing office or whatever, give her a copy. In fact, it's kind of crazy. The sheriff who was serving the divorce papers, he was assigned to do that. He shows up at the house, at their house, the death house, with the divorce papers, as if to serve Jenn with the divorce papers. And he's like, what's all these cops doing here? And then they're like, well, she's dead.
Is that her shoulder? Is that under her shoulder?
That's what I was thinking too.
I think that is under her shoulder. Yeah. Now this is a picture of the gun found by her body. What do you notice there, or should I say, what don't you notice there?
Blood.
Here's another one. That's her firing hand right there. What's not on her firing hand?
Residue, gunpowder.
Yeah, gunpowder and blood. So what you're seeing right now is her right arm, which is what she used, supposedly, to shoot herself in the head.
In the back of the head.
In the back of the head. But if you shoot yourself in the head, and this is the actual picture right here of her hand, there is absolutely no blood on her hand whatsoever. There is no gunpowder residue on her hand whatsoever. And that stuff would be on your hand. It would be visible. There would be blood splattered all over your hand. Because if you shoot yourself in the head, the blood shoots back out of the bullet wound. It's called backsplatter, and you're going to get it all over you. So the cops knew pretty much right away that this was a murder. They did kind of portray it as a suicide, just so they wouldn't have all the media,
circus.
Media circus. They didn't want that. But there was no blood or gunpowder on her hand. This is the official cause of death for Jenn Corbin. This is from the medical examiner.
The official cause of her death was listed at the beginning of the summary of findings, derived from her autopsy. It read, penetrating gunshot wound of head, loose contact range entrance, wound on right side of head, posterior to right ear in right posterior temporal anterior occipital region.
So the medical examiner thinks that it was probably around 4 or 5 hours before her body was discovered. So she was discovered at 7:30. It was most likely 2:30. And I'm going to show you guys how they actually mapped it out pretty accurately when she was killed. So is this a suicide or not? So this right here is a diagram of exactly where the bullet went into her head. Do you want to describe the position of this?
It is temporal.
It's in the back right, right ear.
A little bit behind her ear.
Posterior temporal.
So it is possible to shoot yourself there.
Yeah.
This isn't no, Ellen Greenberg type of thing.
Yeah, definitely not unusual. Or definitely not impossible.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be most times, people shoot up or on your temple.
Yeah. It is a little weird. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's not
impossible,
it's
but weird.
It's feasible, but it's like I just feel like, I've never seen someone shoot themselves, fortunately, but from media, you think of right at the temple, or they shoot underneath their chin.
So most people right away knew it wasn't suicide. here's a couple quotes backing up that there's no way it's suicide.
There was no way she would have committed suicide. She was not the type. And she lived for her boys, whom she completely adored. She had a great support system of family and friends and would never have left them on her own accord. She loved her boys with her whole being and the kids she taught too. She would never have let them, her sons, find her with a bullet in her head. She was upbeat, fun, and someone everyone wanted to be around. She was a wonderful teacher, fabulous mother, and true friend.
One of her students' mothers wrote about her. I mean, in a lot of cases where there's divorce or separations, a lot of times the kids end up going with the mom. Mm-hmm. So for her to know that divorce is pending and, she may get majority custody of the kids.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend on who the primary caregiver was.
Right. And we haven't even talked about the husband yet.
No.
Oh, so the husband did it, obviously.
No,
I'm just
it could
saying.
be the sheriff. It could be the sheriff. She was having an affair with the sheriff.
What the hell are y'all been watching?
Well, somebody...
Dude, this right here.
There's a scandal somewhere.
This right here is one of those, I don't know what to call them, like housewife cases. I don't know, that's not a good word. But there's everything. There's everything.
A soap opera.
Yeah, it's a soap opera case. That's a good word for it. Because there's everything in here.
Ooh.
There's the romantic interest, the hidden love, the secret affair. There's...
Was she having an affair?
The woman bound by marriage. Like, there's a bunch of stuff, man.
Yeah, I feel like you just gave me a preview of a movie.
Legit. Well,
It is a movie.
It was a Lifetime movie,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
It was a Lifetime movie?
from
I
Rob
think
Lowe,
so.
and Rob Lowe's in it.
He's
God,
great.
I love those Lifetime
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
We should do Lifetime Christmas movies this year.
Oh, yeah.
Or Hallmark.
All right, so what does this guy look like? Is he a hunk?
No.
Rob Lowe is playing him, isn't he?
This guy kind of doesn't look like anything like Rob Lowe. That's why I was like kind of weirded out. This is Bart Corbin.
He looks more like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah.
In that picture on the right. But also looks like a mix between Bill Nye the Science Guy and the guy that plays Aiden in Sex and the City.
What did you
Little
say,
bit.
Jen?
Jeff
Who's
Gordon.
he look like?
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I thought the same thing, man. So, guys, what they're seeing now is I actually, in the slideshow, I'm showing them a couple slides down, I added a picture of Bill Nye the Science Guy. They look identical, man. Do they not?
Yeah.
That's weird. Like the picture you chose.
Uncanny.
Dude, it's so close. They should have got Bill Nye to play it.
Yeah.
God, he probably would do it. Bill Nye was the commencement speaker for the graduating class ahead of me.
Oh, that's
Oh, really?
cool.
Yeah, but we didn't have
Dang.
anyone exciting though.
We
I
didn't
like
either.
Bill Nye, man, but he's which is great. His stance is all the global warming, which I do.
It's
but
a
I don't.
thing. Yeah.
It's a thing. Yeah, but I don't want to feel guilty about it. I mean, we're all fucking this planet up. I don't want to feel guilty.
It's
though.
over. It's game
They
over.
say that the straws haven't really helped the turtles.
Yeah. And now there's like disposable masks everywhere. It's,
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, it's like diapers, but like
yeah.
and the
We're
whole
not
and
helping.
California and Oregon are on fire. It's like
Yeah, this place is a fucking nightmare,
all
dude.
because of a gender reveal.
I know.
A gender reveal started the latest wildfire.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No
There was
way,
pyrotechnics involved. Yeah.
dude.
Which I don't
know.
understand. Like, why do you have to have a gender reveal that's so bougie? Like, you don't need pyrotechnics. All you got, like, when did
Why
gender
ha-
reveals even become a thing anyway?
I don't know.
Dude, I don't know, but when my baby comes out, I'm gonna drop it from space. Gender reveal. Wait, is this the same thing?
No,
Wait,
do
did they
not
shoot
know.
fireworks at the baby?
not at the baby, but at the reveal
Yeah.
they did.
So the gender reveal is like when find out what sex the baby
Oh,
is.
okay. Now
but
I
you're
thought
still
you were talking about like a
pregnant.
birth
Baby ain't
party
here.
or something.
No,
No.
party.
This is Bart Corbin right here, and I mean, dude, if your name is Bart, then you're pretty cool. 'cause you-
Bartholomew.
because you're probably
Never thought
yellow.
of that before.
You're probably yellow and ride a skateboard. And your dad works at a nuclear
Eat my
plant.
shorts.
All right, so his brother, Bart's brother, which we're going to talk about, said that since Bart wasn't home, Bart actually spent the night with his brother. So he wasn't home. He didn't do it, obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
Right.
Sorry to interrupt, but have you guys ever thought about the fact that in The Simpsons, like Marge is the wife, and then the daughter's name is Maggie, which is another name for Margaret, which is Marge is a nickname for.
So they're both named Margaret. Like Margaret. I do know people who do that, like the women named after the moms.
Why can't they? I mean, like guys do
Guys
it all the time.
I know.
Bart's brother, which he was spending the night with, so obviously Bart didn't kill his
So
wife.
he was with Millhouse, got it.
He's that's not his brother.
I know, but
Oh, it was with Nelson.
Nelson's not his brother either,
I wish Lisa would just go out with Millhouse.
right?
Just one time.
Millhouse deserves a chance.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are talking
But freaking
about.
Simpsons.
dude, Lisa goes
Never
out
seen
with what's the police chief's
Ralph?
Ralph. They go out and she won't even give Millhouse a chance. What the fuck? That's bullshit.
One of my favorite memes of all time is the one of Ralph on the bus. It's like, haha, I'm in danger. I love Ralph.
All right, so Bart's brother, who he stayed home with the night that somebody killed his wife, he says that his brother, Bart, was in the bathroom vomiting after he heard the news. No, the whole time, this happened in the morning, or the body was discovered in the morning. It took almost a whole day for Bart to come to the police station and get a statement or anything. He basically lawyered up right off the bat, and he stuck by his brothers, and he wouldn't answer the phone, nothing. He just was staying away from it altogether. He didn't want to speak to the police, and he eventually came in to test for gunpowder on his hands and stuff like that, which he tested negative for, but, you just wash your hands. I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying. But, I mean, he didn't do it because he wasn't there, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
okay. Now, a little bit about Bartholomew. Now, a little bit about Bart Corbin. He finishes dentist school in 1991. He meets Jennifer in 1995. He was 7 years older than Jenn when they met the first time. She was actually a bartender. She went to art school and she tried the nursing school and that didn't work. So she was in the food service after that, trying to figure out what her next move was.
I feel
She was a bartender. Not a bartender. I think she was a hostess. Anyway, they meet and they kind of hit it off, and then they ended up getting married, have 2 kids. He was 7 years older than her. Now, actually, this guy right here, Bart Corbin, I don't know if you can believe it or not, but he actually was a walk-on for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
You know what? I just realized
what?
that this isn't whiskey. This is vodka.
Ah.
I was about to say, I didn't think Firefly made whiskey.
They do.
Oh.
And I when we took the shot, I was like, why does this taste like vodka? And then I was looking and it says vodka. And I got the wrong fucking thing.
It's still good.
Yeah.
He was a walk-on for the Georgia Bulldogs, which, guys, if you ain't from the South and you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, you got to be good to play for the Bulldogs, man. You do.
Big team.
Yeah.
Any Southern team like this, you got to be big. You got to be corn-fed. You got to be right here from the country. You can have all your teeth, but you got to know intimately your first cousins. That's all I'm telling you right
God.
now.
Stop.
So he did play all seasons for the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, do you remember when we did the Ted Bundy story? Mm-hmm. And if you think back to that, he had a first girlfriend. And everyone after that, all of his girlfriends that came after that were almost the exact image as his first girlfriend.
Yep.
That is exactly what this guy is doing, which is crazy. I don't know guys that do that.
Right.
Like, it's weird. A guy will date almost the exact same looking person as their ex. I mean, every one of Bart's friends said that, and they were kind of weirded out by it because it was like he was replacing his first girlfriend, which her name was Shelley Mansfield, with another girl that looked just like her. Anyway, I'm going to move on. So Shelley Mansfield was his first love. She wanted to be a reporter, not be in the dentist field or whatever. And in fact, she broke this guy's heart. This guy looks confident now, what you're looking at him in a picture, but he was actually quite the loser in high school not popular. He was chubby. He was a virgin up until he meets Shelley Mansfield, which breaks his heart. And she says that she broke up with him because, quote, I did not get a degree to be someone else's accessory. You go, girl.
Ooh, yeah, tell him.
So Bart had a good sense of humor, but after Shelley, which this is in college now, after she breaks his heart, and she kind of played him and everything else, and he was real faithful because he's never even dated anyone before Shelley.
Okay.
And Shelley kind of just played him and then, broke his heart. He actually starts turning at that point. So now he's still funny, but his comedy has more of a bite to it. You know what I'm saying? It's more darker. You can tell he's still heartbroken. And he was really heartbroken over Shelley. And if you want to read this was kind of explain it right here.
Oddly, perhaps not, she had no memory of the moment she told him that she wanted to break up. She only remembered that he cried and that he wasn't angry with her.
So now she breaks up with him and they start calling him Angry Bart because he is
Angry Bart.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Now
I feel like Angry Bart wouldn't look like Bill Nye the Science Guy. I feel like he would be like this old crotchety old man with a long beard.
you should see this guy now.
Oh.
He is old and crotchety. A little bit about Bart. Now, this probably started spawning before the Shelley incident, but he was really obsessed with making money. Don't you hate people like that, right? So he only cares about money. And in fact, he only goes into dentistry to, quote, fill his deep pockets, which is like the weirdest thing because wouldn't you want to be like an investment banker? You don't go to be a fucking dentist to get rich.
They do make good money.
Yeah, they do.
I know,
They make real
dude,
good money.
But then you have to like smell people's breath all day. Well, the hygienist usually cleans your mouth before they
It's
see
not
you.
a bad gig. It's not.
But
Well-
like I have this thing about teeth. It's like the same way I feel about carrots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You've ruined baby carrots for me.
I got lately when I was at the store, I got the little round chips.
Yeah, there you go.
He wanted to get rich off patience. He says to one of his girlfriends, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, Dolly Hearn, quote, I can hardly wait to graduate so I can stick it to people. That's what he
Ooh.
said.
Wow.
So I'm trying to paint a little bit of this guy's picture right here, but we don't have too much time to spend on him.
Sounds like he got a chip on his shoulder, whether it's
yeah.
granted
Yeah.
or not.
Dude, yes, exactly. So I did put this in here and you can make your own mind up. You know, obviously his wife has a wedding ring. Jenn has a wedding ring. And he also wears a wedding ring. His is the only one, though, with a diamond in it.
Oh.
So she doesn't have an engagement ring either?
I don't know how that works. But he wanted to, quote, look affluent to his patients. His ring was worth like 3 times as much as hers was. That's what kind of guy this is.
Weird.
Yeah.
Now, this guy, apparently he's good looking. I think he looks like Bill Nye, but apparently he was
Hey, Bill Nye's not a bad looking guy.
He was getting
Especially now. He's like a silver fox. Let me just say.
he was getting a lot of strange. A lot of the girls that work at the dental office,
Like the
it was
hygienists?
the hygienist. It was his practice.
Could be
So-
other dentists.
Yeah, so he
Or
was
his
having
secretarial staff.
constant affairs. And in fact,
While he's married.
While he's married, yeah. And in fact, there's a real long, like his secretary of his dentist practice, they were in an affair and she was afraid to leave. Like she kept putting in a resignation and he was like, oh, you're not leaving here. I got you. And he would tear it up, slap her ass or something, you know.
Oh.
Nice.
Gem.
Sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now we're going to get into this a little bit, but right now you have Jenn Corbin, which is a stay-at-home wife. Do you remember the Susan Powell case that we just did?
Yep.
Yeah.
You remember how her husband treated her with the finances and
Yes. Oh my
berating her
gosh.
in front of everyone?
And yet he was buying a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yes. So he was buying, it's the same exact thing. And then she would spend a little bit on groceries and he would just blow up. But yet he would go out and buy himself all this stuff. The marriage starts going downhill real quick and she falls out of love with Bart. In fact, go back to the beginning of the episode when she asked her sister What if you fall in love with someone, but you're already bound to someone else? That's what she's going through now. He's already having affairs with everyone, and she knows about it. In fact, before she asked, what if I'm bound to someone else and I love someone, she asked the question, which you should never ask in a marriage, am I the woman in my husband's life that he loves the most?
Ooh.
I mean, obviously not, because you love your mother more, and then you love your wife, right? But you know what I'm saying? You should never have to ask that question if you're married. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So did they have kids already at this time?
Yeah, they have kids. So they have, So they meet, she's a bartender, and then they marry. Now she's a stay-at-home mom, and she has all these aspirations and things she wants to do with life.
becomes a
But now
preschool
she's,
teacher.
yeah, exactly, she's stuck with kids. Not stuck with kids, but that's not exactly what she wanted in life. And now he's out. Here's an example. He would work nights. He's a dentist.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying, right?
They
Yeah.
don't work nights.
They don't work nights.
They don't.
He goes to the dentist at 8:00 at night.
Right.
Although that wouldn't be a bad business model, though. Like to have dental hours for people who can't work,
Right.
Who
I
can't
mean,
work in the dental.
but you see what I'm
They may
saying.
stay open until like 6:30 or
I would say 8
stuff
o'clock.
Like that.
But he would tell his wife, I got to work tonight. I mean, and number one is his practice.
He could be doing paperwork.
Dude, yeah, he could be doing some paperwork. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Her name was Dara. That was the one he was having an affair with. Well, he was having an affair with a couple people. But eventually, Jen gets sick of it. She's like, you know what? Whatever. So this is kind of where it turns strange. And this is one of the factors in the case where you just can't really make up. This is 2004. And I know you guys, how old were you then?
14.
Okay. Do you remember this game called EverQuest?
2004, I was like 12.
So 2004, I was 18.
13. I turned 13 in 2004.
But-
I'm thinking school year. I'm not
So
thinking
y'all
of calendar year.
y'all may not remember it then, but this was in the early MySpace days, and this is pre-Facebook. This is like right when Facebook launched. But there was this game called EverQuest, and it's similar to Second Life. You guys know what that is, right?
Oh yeah, we watched that documentary.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
make a character and you can like live out.
Kind of like
Yeah.
The Sims.
Yeah, I love
kind of like The Sims. Yeah. So
Love The
EverQuest,
Sims.
I remember EverQuest, dude. I never played it, because I was popular and I couldn't get caught playing that. But like, there were people.
Meanwhile, Jen and I love the Sims.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love like Sims memes.
So fun.
There were these total nerds in our school. I'm just kidding. But there were this clique of gothic girls that would play this all the time, dude. And they would all the time EverQuest. It was ridiculous. Anyway.
I felt like Sims spanned all walks of the cafeteria, the Mean Girls cafeteria.
Jen gets introduced to EverQuest through her sister, Heather, as a way to kind of break up the mundane. EverQuest, if you guys don't know, you have to be connected to the internet to play it. It's like an online World of Warcraft or whatever, where you can meet other characters and you can be like an ogre and you can be like a princess or a knight or a thief or whatever the hell,
Right.
Sherlock or whatever.
So it's like first person role playing type thing.
I don't really know. I think it is role playing, yeah. But anyway, she gets involved and she meets a man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
A man in the game or a man that's also a man in real life as well?
Well, she meets a character on the game that she kind of starts to fall for. Now, this is where it kind of turns.
I mean, what can we see his avatar? Who was he?
No, but we do have some of the emails. Now, apparently there were thousands of emails, and a lot of them were hot. but she deleted a lot of them, but there are still some that were found because Bart actually finds them. Bart actually finds them.
So it's cool for him to have an affair, but for her to have one
Exactly.
ain't cool.
Bart finds them, and then a few weeks later, she winds up dead. But
Convenient.
yeah, exactly. He's a piece of shit. Trust me. So she was introduced to EverQuest in 2003. She was going by the name WizWiz148. And like I said, I'm not really sure everything of how this thing works. I think it is role playing, kind of like Zelda or something, but you can meet other people and talk to them. It's like a chat. It's like AOL Instant Messenger with Zelda or something.
Huh.
It's like combined or something like that.
Or like Sims where they actually speak
Sims,
English.
But Sims, but you're like, you're fighting dragons and stuff.
Oh.
I probably got this completely wrong. But she meets this other character named Sir Tank 1223.
Sir Tank. Ooh.
Now they start talking and eventually they start emailing each other. His name is Christopher. He's also 33 years old. Now the only thing about him is he lives in Missouri and she lives in Georgia. So they're 800 miles away. So he's kind of going through the same thing as she. He's divorced and he's working at a restaurant. She was just working at a restaurant not too long ago. He's also helping his mother raise his sister's 2 children. So he's living in his mother's basement.
Okay. Do we have a picture of this guy?
Not at first. She kept requesting a picture and...
Sounds a lot like a catfish situation.
Not a good sign.
He would never send a picture, but things did get hot.
Interesting, because I feel like back in 2004, it was more acceptable to be like, oh no, sorry, like my internet won't be able to send
Can't
you that much
upload.
gigabyte. Like, you know what I mean?
Or it's really blurry.
Or pixelated.
Yeah.
Now it's just fishy right out the bat.
Yep.
So in September 2004, Christopher, Sir Tank 1223 from the game EverQuest, finally... Now this is after a lot of hot emails.
I love that you're changing your voice for that one word.
I sound like Luca Magnato.
Yeah, you do.
A lot of hot. Anyway,
I wonder how he's doing.
in 2004 of September, Christopher actually confesses his love to Jenn. And this is when things start getting hot. If you want to read this.
Christopher, you don't need to apologize to me again.
She wrote.
I'm just sorry you felt like I could baby play you. It's okay to be scared, Christopher. I'm scared. We're both going to have to make big changes to our life if we want to be together, and that is never easy. I love how you make me feel. I love that there are no walls with you. I love that I feel I can tell you just what I feel at that moment. I know with you that my whole life is going to change, that our love is going to be so powerful, and that it's going to be overwhelming. I don't know why it is we feel like we do.
So she is saying this, and she's never even seen this guy.
That is passion.
He always has an excuse why he's not sending his picture,
Oh, girl.
Holy fuck. This is not good.
Honey, no.
Oh, yeah.
But you can tell how she's talking to him. Okay. And then she starts telling her family that she's met someone else, like almost like a girl in grade school. Oh my God, Mom, he's so adorable. And his mom's like, you're married, you have 2 kids, and you're meeting someone online that won't even show you his picture. So this is what Jenn wrote to Christopher on October 18th. Now, keep in mind, she died December 2014. So this is...
Okay.
2 months before her death.
I love that you take your job seriously. I love that your bosses scare you. I love that you were strong enough to run when you needed to then move them when you were strong enough to get them on their feet again. I love that you can go a little crazy with me, but yet stay strong enough for both of us. I love that you always question me, making me think through for the truth in my answers. The bottom line is, Christopher, I'm in love with everything about you. I would love to be yours to keep. And one day I will be. I understand it can't be now, but it's so hard when you want it so much. So we'll both have our strong moments and some weak ones too.
I mean, this is crazy, right? You can tell this is not good. Okay, her husband is having affair after affair, working nights as a dentist. I mean, come on, dude. He is verbally abusing her. She has 2 kids. She's stuck in this marriage. Her life is in shambles, and she is meeting this guy on a game called EverQuest and saying this to him.
How long has it been?
I mean, how can this not end the way it did? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, this is not... What did she think the outcome would be? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not... That sounded mean. I didn't mean it like that. But this is not a good situation.
Mm-hmm. How long had they been talking?
This is after like 2 months.
Oh, wow.
And then the emails start getting more sexy and as you'll see here.
Oh, God, I cannot wait to see this guy's picture.
I don't think it's a guy. I think it's a girl.
Ooh.
This is what Christopher responds on one of his emails.
Oh.
Good morning, sexy.
Ooh.
Jennifer, I have told you I can't wait to make love to you. Damn, with every passing day, the growing sexual tension for you elevates to new levels I've never dreamed possible. You are my darling, Jennifer, and are a very wait, what?
You my darling.
You, my darling, Jennifer, are a very amazing woman. I love you.
Well, that was uncomfortable.
That was kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Let me try that again. No? Should I?
I don't think that you can make it comfortable.
No, keep going.
Okay, let me try it again.
Nope.
Good morning,
No, you
sexy.
Christopher, I'm madly in love with you, and you've changed me forever. You've taught me more than these past months than I've experienced in my lifetime. I want a lifetime exploring these new places with you.
All right, now, this is the type of person Bart is. So he finds out that she is pulling away and that he might receive the initial divorce letter from her attorney. Now, Bart doesn't like that because after Shelley made him cry and she broke his heart, he wants to be the one in control. He wants to break up with the girls. You know? Oh, you breaking up with me? You can't because I broke up with you, kind of thing. Like, he doesn't want a girl to step on him. Like, he wants to be in control. So she is now pulling away. So he starts trying to pull her back. Oh, I can change all this bullshit. I'll stop working nights, you know. I'll spend time with you, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah,
Whatever
blah.
she wants to hear to make sure that he stays in control of the relationship.
Exactly. So he talks to her mom, Narda, and he's got a good plan. He says, I'm going to take her on a family trip, just me and her, and we're going to go out of town and we're going to just, me and us, we're going to make love and we're going to rekindle that flame. Now, at this point, Jenn has said multiple times that she doesn't want to have sex with her own husband. Mm-hmm. It makes her disgusted. Like, she talks about how her skin crawls when she has to think about it.
Because she knows that he's had so many affairs?
Well,
or?
she's just not in love with him and she's disgusted of him, you know? Probably because of the affairs, yeah, I'd imagine. And she actually tells her mom, quote, I just don't want to be married. To be there anymore. He disgusts me. He gives me the creeps. He makes my skin crawl. I cannot bear to have a sexual relationship with him. I tried so hard, but I cannot do it. I cannot bear to have him touch me at all. I just can't stand it. Now, he was talking to her mother when this conversation happened about the trip. And this is what he says. He says, quote, but she won't have sex with me. Now he's talking to her mother.
Why would you talk to your mother-in-law about this?
I'm not going to take her on a trip if she won't even sleep with me. Why would I waste my time and money? If I ever take her on vacation, she is going to have sex with me.
Wow. Yeah.
There's just a lot to that there.
Jenn is really worried about her affair at this point. And he actually starts stealing her phone and all this stuff because he realizes that he's not going to be able to work it out. And this is actually her calling the police because he stole her hard drive and was trying to get all these secret emails between Christopher.
I don't know if they stop him, if they can retrieve those for me or not. Or if I can tell them where I think he's going. Okay, what do you think? Do you think he's going to go pawn them or something? Or? No, he's probably going to take them and use them as evidence against me because we're in the process of going through a divorce. Okay.
This right here is Christopher.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it.
Oh my God.
I fucking knew it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is
you
from
called it.
This is from the book. This is from Ann Rule's book. Christopher wasn't married, or a convicted felon, or physically unattractive. He wasn't anything at all. There was no Christopher. There never had been. Chris was only a phony name used by someone who had a good reason to be secretive. Jenn was absolutely stunned to discover that for months she had been writing to a woman, not a man at all. Chris's first name was Anita. She was a bisexual who did live in Missouri and who apparently did take care of her sister's children, if indeed there were any children at all.
Wow. Called it.
Yeah.
What made you think it was a woman, Jen?
I don't know. Just intuition.
Wow.
Here's the weird thing. And because she was going through so much turmoil, she emails them first, and the emails is like, God damn it. All I asked for you was no lies. How could you do this to me?
So how did she find out that she was a woman?
Anita
Eventually send her
Christopher,
a picture?
confessed it to her.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So they kept talking after this.
So she didn't hate the idea?
She didn't hate it. But this is her plan before she got murdered. She was going to move the kids up there with her
Wow.
to live there. And I think they would have been happy together, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. But that was kind of a crazy twist. But anyway.
Shit.
There's,
Jen called it.
There's actually one more twist if you guys want to go down this road. Do you remember watching The Staircase?
Yes.
Yes.
What was crazy about that?
The
Besides
owl theory.
But well, besides that,
The fact that both wives died, or both
Yeah.
of the women died under the same mysterious
both the women died under the mysterious consequences, which is extremely rare that happens at all. Anyway,
but not the fact that they were both mysterious. They were both extremely similar.
Anyway, this is the replacement for Shelley Mansfield, the girl that broke Bart's heart. Bart's heart. And this is Dolly Hearn right here. This is June 6, 1990, if you want to describe her for our audience.
Oh,
Well-
she dead.
She did. Yep.
Yeah, she's dead.
On the couch.
Yeah,
Slumped
she
over.
is dead, slumped over on the couch from a gunshot wound in the exact same spot as what Jenn was killed.
Wow.
And here is another picture of her. This is actually her death photos right here. Now, the gun was actually moved by paramedics. They got there first, and the guy didn't have a camera, so he had to move the gun away. So this, even though detectives knew that it wasn't a suicide, Dolly Hearn, the first real girlfriend after Shelley, got no real justice, because it was ruled a suicide. But this is her right here. What do you notice? Look at her thigh area right there on that photo.
The left or the right?
The left. There's blood right there, right?
Yeah, you can see that.
Well, if you shoot yourself in the head, you got blood splatter. That right there you're looking at is smeared blood. That's transfer stains.
It looks as if it's been running. See on the pillow how it the blood is running down.
Yeah.
And it's like it's similar pattern, like it's long, like it was dripping down.
The thigh blood there you're looking at is transfer stained bloods, which means she was moved. If she just shot herself in the head, that wouldn't be there at all. There's also no blood at all on her hands, which is what she used to shoot herself.
Also,
apparently.
it looks like the blood is on the left side, but she was shot in the same spot on the right
Yeah.
side of her head.
Yeah. He actually, in both cases, put the gun on the wrong side. Okay. He did everything the exact same. And why change something that works, right? This is his first girlfriend. Not wife, but girlfriend. Died in 1990, which was, 14 years earlier? June 6, 1990. Dolly Hearn. Jenn had no idea about this. Not even that she may have committed suicide. Like, he never brought this up. You think you know someone, right? You think you know someone.
Mm-hmm. The cause of death was listed as gunshot wound to the head with destruction of the brainstem and secondary exsanguination, massive blood loss, apparently self-inflicted. This suggested suicide, but Dr. Sharon Daspit, the medical examiner who signed the autopsy report, had not fully committed to that. She listed the manner of Dolly Hearn's death as undetermined.
All right, so as I said, the wound is almost identical to Jenn, his wife that was killed. If you want to read this, I know it's long, but this is from the medical examiner.
The wound was a contact wound, its edges blackened with gunpowder and barrel debris. As the bullet entered there just below the rigid petrous bone on the right, it had traveled through the brain in an almost straight line, severing and macerating her brainstem, and ending just below the petrous ridge on the left side of her head. She had died instantly. There was no indication that she had been raped or beaten, nor had she any defense wounds that may have suggested that she had fought back against an attacker. She had no alcohol or drugs in her blood. Daspit estimated that the time of Dolly's death was probably between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. on June 6th. The cause of death, written on Dolly Hearn's autopsy report, read, gunshot wound to the head with destruction of the brainstem and secondary exsanguination apparently self-inflicted. And then Daspit had added undetermined.
So he added undetermined because he, as a medical examiner, knew that it just didn't seem right. So this is obviously the same guy. And I know this is kind of long, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But what do you guys think happened? So he kills his first girlfriend, then he kills his wife in the exact same manner.
Is that speculation, or do we know that now?
No, we do know that, yeah.
But how? He had an alibi. He was at his brother's.
He does have an alibi. Yeah, he has and he has receipts and all that stuff.
So how did that work?
But he was seen by his neighbor coming around the house at 2 a.m. Now, they know the time of death because she was up emailing Christopher or Anita. Anita-fer. She was emailing Anita-fer at the time, like right when he walks in, because the last email was, and it just went silent. And then he basically walks up behind her in both cases and grabs the gun out of the nightstand or wherever and just points it right to her head and shoots her. That's how he does it. And then quickly, and you know what's really fucked up about this guy? Not only does he know that his two sons were going to be the ones that find the body, which is fucked up.
That's ridiculous.
They pinged his cell phone. He was sitting outside of the house about to come and kill his wife when he called. Now, this is like 2 a.m. He calls the relationship counselor to leave a message saying that they're not going to be able to make it in the morning.
What?
Then he walks into the house, blows her brains out, walks back into his yellow Mustang, and then drives away, spends the night at his brother's house. So he has alibis because they had ordered like 14 beers and they got receipts and all this stuff. But then on the way home from the bar, he makes that quick stop. So it's real quick. And then he goes. The reason he got caught is because the guy he bought the gun from came forward. He got full immunity to come forward and confess that he gave him the gun. And this is it right now. And this is his interrogation. His name is Richard Wilson. He gave Bart the gun. They were friends 4 days before the murder.
He said that he thought his wife was fooling around on him. He thought he needed a gun to protect himself. He knew I had guns. He asked me if I had one. So he came down here and got it.
Kind of sounds like my family. And he came down here and got it, I reckon. What you want from me, cop? So that's basically the Jenn Corbin Dr. Dentist story.
So he did end up confessing?
He did confess.
To both murders.
Because they got him, they literally have the smoking gun. So here's what they offered him. They said, we can try you and a jury may convict you and put you to death because this is Georgia. And we still had a death penalty down here. So you could take that chance, or you can admit to both murders of Dolly Hearn, which gave her family the justice they needed, and admit to the murder of your wife, and you can serve 2 consecutive life sentences in prison, obviously without parole. So he's still there today. Dolly Hearn, I didn't really get into her, but she was a dental student as well, and she was about to graduate, and then he goes on this stalking campaign. He steals her cat. I don't want to go into all this stuff, but he puts hairspray in her contact lens solution. He does all this stuff, and eventually
to get back
kills.
at his first girlfriend that broke his
Exactly,
heart, even
yeah.
though Dolly had nothing to do with it. He was projecting.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a monster. Anyway, I do want to end this right quick. This is Jennifer Corbin's funeral. I thought this would be nice to put in there. This is also from the Anne Rule book, but if you want to read this is about what happened at her funeral.
Many were tearful as they left the sanctuary, murmuring quietly, and then suddenly their eyes were drawn upward. There was a magnificent rainbow tracing its colors brilliantly across the sky. A photographer from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution caught the image, and it was featured on the front page of the paper the next day. For the first time since Jenn's murder, Heather felt her heart lift. I had been praying for some kind of sign that Jenn was okay, and then to walk out of her funeral to see that rainbow spanning from the sky from end to end. It was the most vibrant rainbow I have ever seen. I wanted to drop to my knees and say, thank you, God. I really felt that rainbow was painted just for Jenn.
So I thought that was nice to put in there.
Yeah,
but that's
that
the
was
story.
nice.
Just for Jenn. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's the story of the dentist, the death dentist, deadly dentist.
From toothache to heartache.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. Like I said, I am putting my sources on talkmurder.com. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on whatever podcasting app you're listening to, on whatever podcasting app you're using right now. This is John here with Jenn and Nicole, and until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.